Hi everyone, and welcome to our first panel in our special 20th anniversary CMON Virtual Expo. I'm joined today by our founder and CEO, David Doust, game designer, Michael Shinall, and senior producer, Thiago Aranha. How are all of you today?
Great.
Doing well.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
Well, it is almost midnight. I'm at the point of hanging in there.
Hey, dude, I'm in the same time zone, so you can lie to those
I
two.
forget. I'm no longer special. Okay.
Yes. The exact opposite for me. Down here, it's 8:30. Not super.
For
early.
me, it's noon.
So you have no excuse. Okay.
That's a good piece of trivia. We're in 4 different countries doing this live stream.
And that just to prove that the world is round. This is a proof right here.
That's not concrete proof, but it is evidence.
It's pretty concrete. Dude.
Hi,
Me and you
welcome to-
cannot prove it, but with the other two, it's definitely proven.
Oh no, Helene and myself are just paid actors.
Yes, we're just NPCs.
Yeah, but yes, CMON is scattered all over the globe and scattering further as we go. Like I used to be in the Brazil office. Now I'm in the Singaporean office. Michael has been doing some traveling around as well.
Just a little bit. Yes, originally stationed out of our original Atlanta office with Dave Doust. Now we've split to opposite corners, where I'm now in Vancouver, Canada, on the opposite end of the continent. David has me beat, though.
Yep. I mean, I was in Alpharetta, Georgia with Michael, and then I moved to Singapore, and now I'm in China.
Yeah.
And Elena, there you are.
Yeah, just boring old Brazil. Okay.
We need to find a country to send Helena to now.
Yeah.
Well, before we start, I can see people are joining in. So we have a video about the story of the company before you guys start chatting with our audience, I guess. So let's watch that. Everyone ready? Sure.
Many people use the metaphor about starting their business in the basement or starting their business in the garage. With us, it's not a metaphor at all. Kumine or not, this start at my basement and this start at my garage. At the peak of Kumine or not, I think we were getting about 10 million page views a month, which is quite a lot.
The very first Zombicide was a project I have been developing with a group of friends. We came out with the idea to produce a board game with the theme of zombies, something that was not seen in the market before. And it was a board games with roughly 100 miniatures. David contacted me and say, hey, we will certainly produce the game, but we will do it through crowdfunding. And I had no idea what Kickstarter was. No, don't worry. It's a new thing. It's a lot of indie studios are using it. And I think it will enable us to produce the game as you want and as you wish. Let's do this. And it was an incredible ride because we started light, but still when the campaign was over, it was the biggest #1 Kickstarter in all categories. And it was an incredible achievement. It took really everybody as the attention. And to be honest, we didn't know at the time what we did.
first CMON Expo really wasn't an expo per se. It was just a group of friends getting together to play some games. I remember it was May, Memorial Day. We started our first gathering, and then ever since then, we meet every year with a few friends to play games. And back then, we haven't even published our first board game yet.
In 2019, we even had our first CMON Expo in Thailand. That was amazing. It was a full house. All the local publishers came to support us. And the feeling was pretty much like how we had it in Atlanta and how I had it in my house. People love to play games. People love to get together. And it's the memories that they share at these events that's going to last them a very, very long time. So for those fans that make the trip to come see us at CMON Expo, it's a very, very special feeling for all of us that work at CMON.
We have so many different people from so many parts of the world. We have an Asian team, we have a Brazilian team, we have a European team, America. And this is why we are really a global company, because there is no predominant culture. We are really citizens of the world, and everybody is bringing his own experience to get the best of the results.
To me, it will always be Kumini or not. That's how the company started. But now, we have abbreviated it to CMON, which all of us here call it CMON. You can call it CMON, come on, whatever you want.
Stories are important, and at the same time we do believe that there is a need of great stories in this moment and in this market. Going to comic is a great way to give to our gamers the stories behind the character that they are playing. I always say every game has a story to tell, and this is the reality.
Now CMON has worldwide distribution. We have made over 40 games. We do distribution in Asia. But at the heart of it all, we're still the same company. As you can see, most of our games, that is the most popular, Blood Rage, Zombicide, Ankh, all those have a lot of miniatures in it. That just shows our root.
We have a unique, talented group of passionate gamers that ended up to be the best professional, or some of the best professional in the industry. And I'm proud of them.
At the end of the day, we love miniatures, we love gaming, we love making experience, and we thank all of you for joining us on this incredible, incredible journey.
We're back. Can you believe this company is turning 20? Only 1 year to go before it can have a beer in the US. It can drive. It can vote.
That's gonna be a party.
I think you can drive when you're 16 in the US. Can you not, Michael?
16.
Yeah. But drinking is 21. But when I was in college, I was 15.
Yep.
They changed it.
Well, it's funny when we've had employees in the past that have come to our U.S. conventions and whatnot, and all of a sudden they can no longer drink.
Yeah.
Well, can you believe it's been 20 years? I'd like to hear from you first, Doust. What were your dreams when you first started this 20 years ago, apparently in your garage?
Well, it really wasn't something that I was thinking about monetizing. It was just a website, right? The website was just to showcase miniatures painted by other people. It was just a community. There was no shop at the beginning. There's nothing. It was just people submitting pictures and commenting on each other's work. And then slowly we're getting in different lines, small lines from Europe that no one imports. And we started from there. And I think 2011, we started our first game, but it was a very unexpected journey. It wasn't as well planned and well thought out as you might think. It just happened that way.
And when did you guys join? When did you join Aranha?
I think we should go in order. Michael, you join first.
Oh, sorry.
So I joined by a chance meeting of David Doust when he was hosting local tournaments for Dark Age in the Alpharetta area. And it just kind of cascaded from there. And that was 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago, because time just keeps going faster and faster and faster. But that's how we started out. I remember seeing the original like shoebox size warehouse, a fleet of U-Hauls to hold Zombicide because there wasn't enough storage space. The initial like ragtag crew and everything that put together. Because I just walked in here and here are these guys. It's like Kickstarter. What's this? The Zombicide game. Okay, sure. And just seeing like all this getting put together. The original. I still remember the fun of the original pledge level where you could pledge without stretch goals. And we had, what was it, the original 286 people or something like that, David? Where they opted not to get the original stretch goals for Zombicide.
Right.
Yeah.
Forever remembered.
Yes.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I got into this thing really by happenstance. David Preddy, the COO, was moving to Brazil, and he decided he wanted to find some gamers in Brazil to play and play test and whatever. And he actually sent me a private message through Board Game Geek, just out of the blue, like, "Oh, you're a fan of like Dust Statics, which was a game he produced at the time. You're a fan of this game. Do you have a group? Let's meet up." And just from a PM at BGG, I met him. We started gaming together, and then he was at the time he was producing Zombicide, the first one. And then he just showed me the rule book. Say, can have a look. I think this is some ironing of some things that we could do. Can you just give it a look and see if the rules need improvement? And so I started kind of proofreading stuff for the company, and so it began as kind of just helping him out. Then I started working just at night because I had a job, and then from night it became a part-time thing, and then eventually I got roped into this whole thing.
And as a trivia, what was your professional background before you all transitioned into this very strange job we all have? Let's start with David.
Well, I've always been in business for myself. So this is just another venture. I've had restaurants before. I ran a chain of aquarium stores, believe it or not, for a little while. It's not as tranquil as you think. It's quite stressful. And but for a while I was playing a lot of Magic the Gathering, and then also I was also collecting a lot of miniatures, playing Warhammer. So like if you say, well, do you know that you're going to do this? I don't know. At the back of my mind, I would like to do this, but like if you ask my mom said, yeah, I knew it. I knew this would be something that you do, because since I was a kid, I would put together Tamiya models. I would put together historic models. It's always something to do with playing with models, putting with miniatures and stuff like that. So this is great, right? So it just turned into this, right?
What about you, Michael?
Oh, that's a bit of a loaded question there. I don't usually like talking about the great before times, but I will share a little bit there. But much like David, gaming has always been one of those things that's been in the background. That the more I think about it, the more of an actual influence it's had, just never in the forefront. I used to have a lot of board games when I was younger, played miniature games for my entire life, CCGs. In my private time, I was working with doing like judging at like CCG events or putting together miniatures over my entire life when I look back on it, in board games before I knew what that was. So that's always one of those things that's been in the background, that you never think you're really going to fall into as a career. It's just a hobby or something. And then one day, all of a sudden a David Doust shaped door opens and, you just you get in there doing a little bit. I've worked for, gaming sites, writing articles, some gaming magazines, which, of course, are not around anymore because which ones are. But unrelated to any of that, just to show how much of a transition can happen, before I ended up working full-time for David and Cool Mini or Not at the time, I was actually working with the local police as a communications officer. That's where just before I came into working here was. And then previously before that, I was a pawnbroker for 6 years. So again, a bit of an eclectic, switch of things. And before that, did tax deeds and foreclosures and real estate and things like that. So again, been around and done several things that none of which are really linked together in any meaningful way. So yeah, the last 10 years being here has been like probably the most stable period, during that. So yeah, there's some neat little backstory there, and we'll pass that on to Aranha.
All right. Well, I was working with digital character animation at the time after graduating from architecture, which segued naturally into animation. Actually, my graduating work, the thing you have to do to graduate was a short film, just because. And so I was doing that, and I just, of course, always playing RPGs and board games in my spare time. And it was interesting because this whole thing, like when I met David Petty, and I learned that he was part of a company that does board games. I invested in it more to help some of my friends who really wanted to get into the board gaming industry, Guilherme Goulart and Fred Perret, who work in Arcadia Quest with me, and Guilherme is now another senior producer in the company. Like they really wanted to work, like they knew they wanted to do this as a job. And I said, okay, I'm going to meet this guy and try to, let's see if something happens. But I was thinking more about them than me. And then he just started dumping stuff on me and say, come on, I think you can do this. Take care of this. And I said, yeah, you know what? This is actually more fun than what I'm doing. And it seems to be going quite well. So, I go where life takes me, and it's taken me quite far so far.
There is a question in the comments that I think is quite interesting. So it's specifically directed at David, but I was thinking you all could maybe answer it. Do you still find time to play games, like not as a job?
I do, but it's I play much shorter games, mostly party games. I play. I don't have time to sit through a 1 hour or two like we do for play testing and to select games and stuff like that, because in Asia we do publish a lot of third-party games, so we do a lot of testing of games. But as far as for fun, it's all party games for me.
What about you two?
Okay, so yeah, we spend, this is one of those things. You spend all your time, working on games and everything. So, finding the time to play, it's usually one of those aspects where, yes, I could go and play other games, or I could continue working on the multitude of projects that we're currently doing and refine those. And that's usually what I prefer to do with my time, which I guess falls into the category of just work all the time. But again, like what we do. But otherwise, I've been trying.
That's a much better answer than mine, I'll tell you that. Next time you go first.
But otherwise, it's playing games for fun and everything. Now, granted, of course, we're in a period of lockdown, and I'm in a completely different country now. So, online games have been taking the precedence there. We've actually been jumping back into playing a lot more like MMOs, which I had an affinity for, and now I'm trying to kind of break down and not have those, eat up a bunch of time there. But yeah, it's, one of those things where, like, yes, I play a decent amount of games because you have to, keep up with what's popular, what's trending and things. But usually most of the time it defaults to me of like, yeah, I could go and play some new games, or I could just continue to refine the ones that we're currently working on.
Same to you, Aranha.
No.
Oh, I do want to say that was a very nice and happy question there from On the Table Gaming. So.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I not much time for gaming, not much opportunity. Like with lockdown, being in Singapore, like it's quite a shake up on my gaming schedule. So mostly work.
Damn it, both of you. Next time you go first.
Oh, another cool question. What has been each of your fondest Kickstarter campaign? We've had so many so far. We've had 48 Kickstarters.
I'm not going first. I'm telling you.
Well, as head of Kickstarter, I'll go first then. I think it's funny because I've never been asked this question, and people often ask like, which game do you prefer, or which of your games do you prefer? And I find that's a much easier question to answer. Which Kickstarter is fondest? It's much trickier because, especially the ones I was heavily involved, which is most of them. Like you get so involved. Like it's such a life experience to go through a Kickstarter because when it's on 24/7. Like it's a very intense experience. Like you get to know the people. You get to each campaign creates its own set of in jokes and memes and it has its own flow and its own vibe. So it's really hard to pick one. It usually. I would tend to say it's the last one because it's closer to my heart, which would be X-Men, which was a great one for me to run. Although I do have a very fond memories. I think it was season 3 of Zombicide, which I think that's the campaign where I really came into my groove as kind of showrunner for Kickstarters. I think that's when the Magic 8 Ball appeared. When I started doing the heavy teasing and hinting and throwing very cryptic messages and everybody was very engaged. So I think that's the campaign where my way of handling Kickstarters was really born, and then it's just another show after another show. That's how it goes.
I like how you defined it, like showrunner for the Kickstarter, because that's definitely how it feels. There is so much happening all the time.
Yeah, you have the whole backstage. You have a bunch of stuff you're waiting to show, and everything's chaos behind the curtain. And then when you put it in front of the curtain, everything looks shiny and bright, and people think have it under control. But there's a big fire and some weird noises coming from backstage. But we have to keep the show running. There's a new stretch goal coming, and you stop counting time in seconds, and you count time in terms of funding goals that you're going to achieve. So how long do you have for lunch? Oh, I have around $20,000 for lunch, because otherwise I need to go and post and answer. And right now, 20,000 is going at a very high rate. So yeah, your whole life becomes a Kickstarter. And I remember when I had my child, I said there's nothing new there, because I was already trained to take care of this thing that needs constant attention all the time. Getting up in the early hours of the morning to post an update, to see if there's anything happening. I would set my alarm during the night to post an update when we hit a stretch goal. That was before we had everybody scattered all over the globe. So yeah, it's intense. It's a lifestyle.
I'm going last. So Michael. Michael.
I spent the entire time while Aranha was speaking trying to think of a specific Kickstarter campaign that really jumped out. And so just to give that quick answer, the one that sticks out the most to me was actually when we did World of Smog: Rise of Moloch. The only issue with that answer is that it's for completely unrelated to the Kickstarter reasons. That one was the most memorable to me, namely just because of a bunch of external kind of technical hiccups that just kept happening during that campaign to create more okay, we have our standard Kickstarter, events and problems and things that happen, but there were just so many other things that were going on during that campaign. It was every week it was okay, here's what the Kickstarter is doing, which is its own set of challenges and whatnot, and then here's what is happening in the IRL's real life that's impacting this as well. So that's kind of a half answer there, but I do agree with Aranha that the biggest factor of Kickstarters is when they are on, and that becomes your life for whatever that period is. The original 31-day campaigns, even the newer, shorter ones, but you live and breathe Kickstarter for that entire time, and then when they're done, you don't even know what to do with yourself afterwards. You're just kind of shell-shocked, coming back to wait, it's done, it's over, but now I have all this free time, and there's 24 hours in the day, and 23 of them aren't devoted to just keeping this thing updated the entire time. What's going on? What do I do with myself? and then readjusting to normal life.
I usually for the next 2-3 days, I keep going to a tab where the Kickstarter is just every half an hour, and just there's nothing for me to see here, and then I just go, and then I alt tab and I go there, and there's nothing happening until I kind of accept it.
Especially because the end of the campaign is always that 48-hour rush and everything. So it definitely the week after the campaign, it's just like because everyone's like, okay, thanks, that's great. We'll see you guys when the pledge manager comes up and whatnot. And usually just have this very sharp decrease in interactivity there because the roller coaster ride is over. And it's just like, well, what do I do now, though? You have to spend that readjustment period. And usually you readjust just in time for the next Kickstarter to, start ramping up.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're binge watching a show, like as fast as possible. And as soon as the show's over, it's like, but I want more. Why didn't I slow down a little bit to enjoy it? But now it's over, right? So,
that's true. It's the exact same feeling. Like, the new season's coming. It's just you outpaced it.
Yeah.
So as for me, I'll never forget the first Zombicide. It's just the most incredible ride. I remember we will go to lunch with Churn, and then as soon as lunch is over, it's another 20,000. Oh well, we go to watch a movie. We come out, it will be so much more. And the most incredible thing is I believe the campaign was going to end on a Sunday. And on a Saturday morning, we signed a deal with Penny Arcade, and it was still at $200 and something thousand.
Yeah.
And we made $500,000 in one day, and it was just heart stopping. Every time we refresh, it would just be new numbers, right? So that has to be the most unforgettable. But actually, to be honest, we are running a crowdfunding campaign right now, Massive Darkness 2, in China right now, and it's already at 2.44 million renminbi, which is great. It's only been since Monday, but I feel like I've already been running this campaign for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And the funny thing, and this I think Aranha would be able to appreciate it, is I thought, hey, when I wake up tomorrow morning, maybe it will go up that much more. Well, this campaign is very unlike your campaign because my Chinese backers go to sleep when I go to sleep. So there's no nighttime pledging. So it's just something funny that I thought would happen, but it doesn't. But it's exciting. I mean, it's definitely, Kickstarter is definitely, it looks easy on the outside, but it's a super, super big ride.
Yeah, but if you talk about memorable moments, I think most of them will be of utter terror and just things
only
going wrong.
Only stuff we know.
Yeah, I think I have more scars than anything in terms of running Kickstarters. Like, I think just horror stories. Well, from our perspective, like the launch of Death May Die, that was interesting. With the whole the limited giant Cthulhu thing, where we very, very naively thought that this is such a crazy piece, so it's expensive, it's big. Like we're gonna make 200 of these. Maybe if we need to make another 200, we can shift it to one month later. We do another batch, and then okay, good. Everybody goes to sleep.
If it sells out. If it sells out, and that's a big
if it sells out, we open a new batch and we push it 1 month so we can produce more. And yeah, all good. That's the plan. Just stick to the plan. And then it just blows up like sky high, and we just burn through all the batches we had planned, and we put a new one, and in 0.5 seconds it's all gone. And the thing is, we don't know if we even can produce as many as people are wanting to buy, and we need the okay from a CEO of the company who are all asleep in Asia. I don't know. What do we do? That was scrambling and fun times.
And the factory was telling us some crazy timeline to produce them, right?
Yeah.
We can only produce like 200 a month or something, some stupid number, right?
Yeah, we had to completely change the whole system for that to become viable, and that was a decision that had to be like uncovered and decided upon at like 3 a.m. in the morning. So that was fun.
Helena, if you don't mind, I think that actually leads into a question that I would like to ask the other two that are here, and actually yourself as well, to put you on the spot for a moment.
Oh my God.
So one thing that I think is interesting is just viewing how your perspective of things has changed over the time when you kind of started for the first couple years versus where you are now. And specifically not even just related to like games or the company itself, but just like in general how that's affected life. I'll even begin here by saying that a big part of this, because of Kickstarter and how we operate through that, is that I for one have become kind of like almost like a little bit of an adrenaline junkie when it comes to chaos, and the fact that I completely thrive off of it. And when these doomsday scenarios here happen, it's like, oh yeah, like we Cthulhu, like we made some of these and we didn't think they were going to sell out, and all of a sudden it's become one of the highest requested items, and now everyone like, we've got to scramble together to make this work. I love those moments because I love just like, oh, that's something we didn't expect to happen. When everything goes according to plan, it's just kind of dull, and that's a big drastic change from before I was here to 10 years later now, is that when everything is just going according to plan and everything is just very routine, that's just boring, and I can't deal with that anymore. I've got to have that level of chaos, and that's just exhilarating for me. And I have a feeling that no one else is going to agree with that, because that would be insane to do so. But that's why I'm interested to hear everyone else's perspective on that.
I'm definitely going last. So it's
yeah, I see Aranha strongly disagrees, so let's start there.
I have chaos to last me a lifetime. Give me some peace, please, someone.
I still deal with chaos all day. I feel a little bit like Michael. It's part of our job, and sometimes I like to say that it's a privilege to go through those journeys. Otherwise, life would be boring. Just like when we started the crowdfunding campaign in China, head of China Lucy, it's her first time doing this. She knew that she had to live up to some high expectations, because we're one of the most successful crowdfunding company on earth. So she was very nervous. She probably didn't sleep for a week, I would say. And but this is the kind of stuff that not everybody can experience. It's the kind of rush, the kind of adrenaline that you get from doing something that you enjoy, and it gives you that feeling. So I'm cool with it, and as long as there's a solution to the problem, right? I mean, but I'm with it.
It really depends on the outcome, right? If it turns out okay.
So far, the outcome is 20 years we're still here, right? So the outcome is still good. So that's all I got to say.
I mean, that's the thing that I've adopted. I heard this phrase a little over a year ago or so, and it's really stuck with me that I really like it. Is, remember, things can't be 101% messed up. I find comfort in that.
Yeah.
Helena, your answer?
Yeah, that's true. I kind of see where you're coming from, Michael, because I kind of enjoy it too. I come from a background of working with live events. I worked with shows and musical theater and whatnot. So before the event premieres, you always have this feeling that it's going horribly wrong and everything will be terrible. And when everything goes right, you get this thrill that I can understand, like when you're really scrambling and trying to get everything together in time, and then the Kickstarter launches and it's a hit. It's just a thrill that I kind of understand what you're talking about, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we have about 10 minutes left, so we should really start talking about presents, because this is a birthday, right?
Where's my cake? Where's the cake?
Where is the cake? Where's the milkshake?
Cake is a lie.
We have to complete the testing before we get the cake.
No, but really, we do have stuff. We do. I saw in a couple of comments asking about a store. Yes, we will have one. It's coming in about an hour, so stay tuned. And we would like to show you what will be available. And it's this big thing right here.
Snazzy.
Yes. Shall we unbox it?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
What is that?
What is that? What's inside
in
the box?
What's
We
in the
do
box?
have lots of 20th anniversary stuff in here. I'll just show you how it looks. Ah! Something fell. What fell? A pin. Okay, I guess I'll start with it since it jumped on me. We have a bunch of pins. They look really cool. I will have some better pictures of it. I would just like to show you the
Rising
box.
Sun, Ankh.
And
Arcadia Quest.
Arcadia Quest.
Gobos.
Oh, that's not really.
Blood Rage.
Yes.
And Cthulhu. A dear old
Cthulhu face.
Last one. Oh, this one is a challenge.
And that
Oh,
one's
yeah,
Massive Darkness.
Massive Darkness, yeah.
Oh. So these look really nice. We also have some Death May Die stickers. Oh, this one's cool. These.
Playing cards.
The madness-inducing Death May Die playing card set.
Yes. Yes. And I have to say, guys, this looks amazing.
Yeah, very nice.
Show them the picture cards.
Yes. I'm having a hard time here. Wait.
Oh, those are nice.
Okay, we've seen the pins, we've seen the playing cards. We have some. I can't close this right now. We have some coasters, some Rising Sun coasters. This is
Yep.
very appropriate. Some themed face masks.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
You can put yours on now.
Yeah. I have an early sample of that one here. That
Oh, really? That
I've been using
exact
it.
one.
Yep.
There you go.
It's very striking. Rising Sun face mask.
And finally, just doing this a little bit later. Let's just take a look at the final item here below. And it's a puzzle.
1,000-piece
Rising Sun
Rising Sun
puzzle.
puzzle.
Thank you for coming for my unboxing. Would you like to see some pretty pictures now? Because probably better than me doing this.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. All of this should be up in about an hour. Here's the whole set. Just to clarify, this will be a pre-sale. It's not in our warehouse yet. And oh, these just look amazing. I know I'm biased, but this is incredible. Would you dare to bluff in a game with using this card? Because I wouldn't. Pins. So this is a pre-sale, and leftover stock will be made available later on. If there is no leftover stock, well,
It's gone.
it's
Well,
gone forever.
You only have, I believe, you only have 300 sets.
Yeah, something like that. It will be shipping from the US warehouse. We will post later on about with the link to the store.
It's going to be Cthulhu all over again.
You know, I was thinking that fairly loudly, but I wasn't going to say it. But here we are.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault, Thiago.
I only work here.
Well, speaking of Cthulhu, we do have a couple more items coming out soon. As far as I hear, they will not be available now, but they will be available in the near future. And one of them...
Do tell.
Do tell.
I really want to. Do you look at this? Can you... Like... it's the best face mask. This will be like the giant Cthulhu. This thing right here.
That's a very tentacly mask.
Yes. And you can keep snacks in it, probably.
Now, Helena, on that one, can you show the interior side of that just so they can see the interior, the other side, the white side? Yeah. Okay. And then yes, we have our big Cthulhu, and then we can put our face mask on our big Cthulhu. Accessorize.
Accessorize. Protect yourself, Cthulhu.
I saw people in the comments asking for a micro Shinall face mask. I think that's pretty much the same thing, right? It's very.
I can make it happen.
Mustache. Please.
I can make it happen.
Sure. You know, I'm very open to selling my likeness rights. I'm never going to turn down opportunities.
Let me screenshot right now, and I'll have the sample for you, the proof sample for you tomorrow.
Awesome.
Can't wait for it. Can we get one for... Does anyone else have like an iconic face like Michael's mustache? No, I don't think so. It'll be limited edition Michael Shinall only.
He's the one. He's the one.
I would absolutely wear a face mask of my own face at conventions.
That would be very creepy because it would look like exactly like you, but like you're a ventriloquist or something. Because
it's
your
like
mouth is not moving.
When the celebrities get those hyper realistic masks of their own face and just wear them.
Yeah,
at
Bryan Cranston.
They have the Bryan Cranston. Yeah. Oh yeah, we could get the Eric Lang hairstyle, just a wig.
What the before or after?
Pick one.
The pointy one or the boom.
I want the mid lockdown one. That's a wild one.
Oh, that's got to be like a chia pet. So we need that next little tie-in.
We could have an 8-ball one. That's iconic.
How do you do an 8-ball mask?
Just do an 8-ball right here.
That's getting into kinky territory. No.
That's the only way. The mask only has so much real estate. So.
See, I was still pushing for the idea that instead of the mask, we do just like the horse feed bags. So that way you're sitting at your gaming table or at a convention, you can just multitask, eat right out of the bag there while still having a nice face cover.
I'll make you one.
Missed opportunities.
I'll get a quote for that while I get a quote for your Michael Shinall face mask together.
I mean, do you really need a quote? Just do it. Get 1,000 of them, will sell out instantly.
Yep.
For whatever price.
Yeah, whatever we make, it'll sell.
Well, it's been great. We only have a couple of minutes left. It's been amazing talking to you. And just to wrap this up, it's been 20 years, but what's in the work for the near future? Would you like to have any final words with our audience and any teasing of what's to come?
Well, I can say that I've seen people asking for a lot of things in the comment section, and I can say that surely some of those things are going to happen.
Yep, see, massive spoilers there. Now we're going to have the conspiracy theorists that are going to analyze every single comment on the big board and everything, just going through here to see,
pin it and put a red thread in all of the...
By God, if you take every one of the suit cards from Death May Die and then the 2 pins from Rising Sun and mix them together, then the world has to know. All I can say on that front is just, it seems every few years, if you look at okay, let's say from where we are right now, let's go back to 2017 and go, well, do you think you're going to be where you are now as a company? No. And then go back to 2014. No. So, I guess we're almost going to like verge into like that Men in Black quote of, imagine what we'll know tomorrow. That just seems to be the rate in which things are moving forward.
Yeah, what I can say is when I look at our future, because we're always working 2-3 years ahead, right? So that's where my vision is, and like I'm terribly excited about what I see coming in the very near future and not so near future. Like it's stuff that personally really moves me and excites me to my core. So
I have to agree.
I cannot wait to share it. I cannot wait to see how people receive it and what new nightmares come my way.
We have such sights to show you.
Exactly.
But we appreciate it. All our fans are great, and without you guys, we won't be here doing what we love. As you can see, we all like what we do, and I really think that we have a really great team, and we are appreciated, and that's why we're still here after 20 years. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all so much for your support over these last 20 years. And may many more follow, I guess. Thank you all. It was great talking to you today. And we have a lot more to come today. So please stay tuned and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, no sleep for me yet. Okay, see you soon.
No rest for the wicked.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.